Let's get this show started, people. Woo! Roll Tide. Well, people, it's that time of the day. Let's go ahead and do this stream here. What's going on, everybody? Christian Ballard here, Ballard Sports Media. Let me turn this off real quick. Oh, my bad. I accidentally hit something. That's not it. That's not it. That's more like it, I guess. That offends you? Well, I don't care. What's going on, everybody? Christian Ballard here, Ballard Sports Media, coming at you live tonight here on April 27th, 2021. 10 days, or 10 years, I'm sorry, to the day of the tornado attacks in Tuscaloosa. Now, I kind of wanted to talk about that tonight, really. I mean, I know it was 10 years ago, but even still, like, you know, being an Alabama fan, I was born in Tuscaloosa, first off. Didn't grow up there, didn't grow up here in Alabama. Spent most of my life in Florida. But if you're a Bama fan, you care about not just the team, but the whole city, the state of Alabama. So I got this book. I shared it last year with you guys. I did do a stream on this day last year, and this book is by Lars Anderson, and it's Tragedy, Hope, and Triumph in Tuscaloosa. It's called The Storm and the Tide. It's by Lars Anderson, and he goes into great detail about and he went around. He interviewed Carson Tinker, Javier Arenas, you know, quite a few of the players that were on the 2011 team. Going into that season, coming out of the 2010 season, they went like 10-2 that year. Tough year, right? For defending champs. And he goes into detail in this book greatly. If you haven't read it, I really recommend it. I know maybe you're out there, you're like, I'm not a Bama fan. I'm sick of them winning and all that. Sick of Saban, sick of that. But just go and read about how this storm, it was a F5 tornado. And there were some all throughout the state that day, all throughout the South, really, that day. But this was definitely the worst in, I guess, the state of Alabama at the time. And Um, I mean, F5's like is pretty much the highest it can go, from what I understand. Um, the one in Tuscaloosa that day itself killed 53. There were way more people injured and impacted beyond that in a way. So it I mean, look, again, I'm not. I mean, this wasn't like Katrina or whatever in '05 or nothing, but for the state of Alabama, it definitely was the worst. And but if you haven't read this book here, "The Storm and the Tide" by Lars Anderson, I definitely recommend it. It's a good read. Um, again, goes into the depth of how the storm impacted the Crimson Tide and the football team and the whole city of Tuscaloosa. Talks about Carson Tinker, who was at the time a long snapper, which isn't I mean, any position is important, right? But it's he was pretty much a main talking point of this whole book. Carson Tinker. He lost his girlfriend that day in the tornado. It talked about how the tornado like threw him out of his house. He went flying. He passed out, and I mean, it's a lot of tragedy in this book that it talks about, but it talks about how they overcame all of that, and how there was Coach Saban, and then he had a friend named Thad Turnip Seed or whatever. Um, and they went out in the community. It started with them, and they like gave everybody water, Gatorade, and all that. And it just it was crazy, man. So I mean, I figured maybe we'd look back a little bit on that day. I mean, it's just I got here. I'll see if I can try to show this. This was the main pathway of the tornado here. Not sure if y'all can see that very well. If you see that map, it shows at the beginning of the book, goes by a Smoothie King, by a hospital there, Carson Tanker's house where that was located, Josh Chapman, another player. Lauren Brown was like a girlfriend of one of the players. Javier Arenas was a player. And of course, if you were here on the stream, or maybe it wasn't my stream, but I think we were on like Chess Hall's stream or whatever last night. I was showing some video of it where definitely it like hit the stadium. It didn't hit the stadium, but hold on, I can show some of it. I think, but here, just if you guys weren't there on Chess Hall stream last night, here's a little bit of footage of it. But I mean, it just again, it wasn't like it was pretty much the worst in the state's history, but like overall in history, it wasn't really the worst tornado. But I mean, it was a deadly day, April 27th, 2011. So I mean, I've heard so much about it. I've read about it. I wasn't up here, but I mean, if you're a Crimson Tide fan, you read the news and all that about that. So here's some footage here. Right over by the stadium, right there. I don't know if you guys can see the cursor, but if you look to the left of the screen, you'll see Bryant Denny. Hold on. Oh, that's not.
Dude, do you see the shit up in the sky? Yeah. Oh man, this thing's getting massive. Dude, it's forming a cyclone like right here, dude. Oh my god. Oh my god. I gotta call my mom, dude. Don't do anything right now. We have to run inside. Yeah, dude. I'm good. We gotta go in the freezer. I'm good.
There's a tornado right there in the middle, behind these trees.
Holy shit! It's in the fucking stadium, man. Look at it fucking tearing up the grass.
Yeah, sorry for the language, but I mean, yeah, it was just a dark day for Tuscaloosa, for the state of Alabama. I mean, it was tragic, man. So I mean, and I'm sure it still haunts people. I mean, Carson Tinker, the long snapper, I just mentioned him. He lost his girlfriend. Um, there was someone named Lauren Brown, um, who was a girlfriend of one of the other players. I can't remember exactly who. I'll have to go back and read the book and look in there. Lars Anderson, credit to him for putting this book together, though. Um, but yeah, it was definitely a dark day for Tuscaloosa, man. Um, you know, so I mean, it goes into a lot of detail. There's a big part about like there was a certain smoothie king in Tuscaloosa that went away. It was like a hangout spot for some people, and I think it talked about someone in this book. I think like worked there or something, and or knew someone. And but we look back on this day. If you were a Bama fan or someone that lived in the state, um, yeah, it was a dark day. I wasn't living here, but I was up here though. I think it was around this time because I mean I spent all day in a closet. I just didn't realize the impact until I read this book and heard from some people, and I did more research on it and all that. But yeah, it was definitely one of the dark days in Tuscaloosa in a long time, and they really haven't had anything serious like that one since then. You know, and let's see, the super outbreak. I mean, it was all over the South, really. Um, and there was apparently one in Ontario, Canada, on April 27th. But if you look here, and I know you can't always buy Wikipedia, but most of the stuff, well, I don't even know if I want to say most of the stuff, but if you look here at this table, this is on a page called Super Outbreak. Notable tornadoes of the 2011 super outbreak between April 25th and 24th. 360 tornadoes in a 4-day span. 216 were on this day 10 years ago. Four were in F5, one of them, of course, being the one in Tuscaloosa. 324 deaths. And this book at least said the Tuscaloosa one killed only 53 people, which I don't, isn't a, well, I don't know. I guess it is a lot, or maybe it's not. I don't know. Tornadoes, deaths define a lot, but it's still, 53 people lose lives, even one. It's just, it sucks. It's tragedy. So, but for those that are out there and maybe dealt with this and maybe still look back on this day and it still gets to you, I'll be praying for you. Not just the people that dealt with it in Tuscaloosa, but I mean, it was all over like Mississippi and all that. It was tornado outbreaks all over. So we'll be looking and praying and, just all that. I know it can be tough. So Dominic's in here. I guess I did drop the StreamYard link. I'll add him in here in a second. But yeah, so I mean, you look back 10 years ago on this day, and it was a dark day. I mean, the one in Tuscaloosa only killed like 50 people, but I mean, still 50 people is 50 people, and it's just yeah, it was tough. But if you're into books about sports or whatever, or want to know how a town was impacted or turned upside down, man, I mean, this book right here by Lars Anderson, Storming the Tide, is a great book here. I got it for Christmas a couple years ago. Thanks, Nana, for sending me that one. Definitely one of my favorite books that I've read. I know it's tragic to read about, but it's a good book though in terms of how Lars Anderson put it all together, and tells a story about it. It's documented, but it's like you're reading it and he's telling a story. Like this is what happened. this is who did what happened with this person or that person. And then he takes a break here or there with a couple, um, like at some point it talks about the 2010 Iron Ball, and I think a little bit about how the Tide. It mentioned the kick six at one point. I mean, this was written a couple years after, and it mentioned a few games here or there just to give a little more insight on the Tide football team. But so this day, 10 years ago, I mean, it was a dark day for Tuscaloosa. It was a dark day for a lot of different people and cities throughout the South. So, but that being said, I guess I'll. We got Dominic, we got Shannon Mitchell. What's up, guys?
What's up, Ballard?
Not much, man. How y'all doing?
Good.
Man, doing great. I'm hyped up for minor league baseball season, which starts in a couple days for my team, of course, the Fredericksburg Nationals.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, first game is against the Lynchburg Hillcats.
Cool.
Yeah, man, but tragic day. 10 years ago today, that tornado, was it like an EF5 tornado or something? I can't remember.
Well, there were multiple tornadoes, but the one in particular I was mentioning, it was F5, which is pretty much the highest category.
Wow.
It's what it was recorded as, at least. What's up, Nate?
Yeah, but I liked that trivia night. It was awesome.
Yeah. It could have had more questions, maybe more people next time if I ever do it again. I don't know, but we'll see.
Yeah, man.
So you guys, here's a poll that Pat McAfee put out earlier Thursday night. Who's going third over? Who you guys? Okay, final decisions from everybody. Who is going to the 49ers third overall? Go.
I would have to say
3, 2,
Mac Jones.
1. Okay. Yeah, I have I shared my mock draft and just had it premiere on my channel. If you missed it, go watch it. But I think it's gonna be Fields. That's just what I'm hearing. I wouldn't be surprised if it's him or if it's Jones. I think Jones ends up somehow with the Patriots. Which I've heard rumors they trade up from 15 to 10 to get him. Trade with the Cowboys. I didn't put that in my mock draft, but I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. Here's the thing. I would like to see it be Mac Jones. But I've just heard so much about Justin Fields going to the 49ers. I'm just like, if that's it, that's it. And I've heard a little bit about, sources say what Kyle Shanahan has said and how much he really loves Justin Fields. But at the same time, there's, Jones right there. I see Lincoln Stevens in there. He says Trey Lance. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see.
But man, I got that at the last second.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing, Ballard?
What's up, Nate? How you doing, buddy?
Not much, man. Just playing some little bit of video games.
Cool. That's cool. What game?
Yep. I'm like multitasking, but I'm playing MLB The Show, which is baseball. And NHL.
Awesome.
Yep. Right now, I'm not doing so good in this right now, so.
Come on, beat it up.
That sounds wrong.
Man, I'm just gonna be honest about the third pick. I don't care. I couldn't care less who they take. I mean, if it's Fields, it's Fields, and it's not, Mac Jones. I don't care, right? It's not. Nothing's gonna matter until these guys play on the field in the fall, and we'll see how they do. But I mean, we'll just have to wait and see.
What if the team you said got Trevor Lawrence?
Oh, 49ers?
Mm-hmm.
They won't because the Jaguars will. The Jaguars have to take him.
I'm just
I'm
getting
just saying.
messed up every time.
No,
I don't know why,
they
but it's
darn
really getting
sure
on my nerves.
about the whole Trevor Lawrence deal.
Yep.
I mean,
Honestly,
look,
it's getting on my
guys,
nerves at this point, and I'm getting ticked off every second, every minute I hear about it.
I mean, what can't he do at the position? Just saying.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Dang it.
Wisconsin sports fan says Fields is following. The question is, where is he going? Will someone trade up? The Packers take Zaven Collins from Tulsa at 29. I could see that play out right there. Zaven Collins is a top prospect that could go late first round.
Yeah, true.
Fields is falling. I don't. Nobody really has to trade up for Fields. I don't think. I mean, he just is. I mean, unless you're well, he definitely go in the top 10. That's for sure. But I mean, it's nobody outside of the top 10 other than the Patriots. So I guess that kind of answers the question. I mean, the Patriots would have to trade up for him unless. Yeah, I mean, look, the draft on Thursday night, the 49ers control pretty much what any other team is going to do. Think about it. Outside of the Jaguars and the Jets, you have Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson. Then, if let's say they take Mac Jones at 3, right? Justin Fields is on the board there. What do the Panthers do? Do they let him fall there and the Panthers could pick him up, or the Broncos could, or the Patriots will trade up for him, or vice versa with maybe, if they take Fields, what about Mac Jones? Will the Panthers take Mac Jones? I mean, I don't know.
Maybe
He falls or the Patriots trade up for him.
yeah. I mean, it might happen, but in my opinion, I think Mac Jones a great fit for like. I think the the great fit for him is probably the uh, Patriots or
I've heard that, and I think that too because of the whole. I don't know. Something about him does make me think a little bit about Tom Brady and like size and all that and style of play. And you got to think of the whole Bill Belichick and Nick Saban connection.
Right. Yeah, right. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I and plus what plus I said in some comment while you were talking about the tornadoes and stuff in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
Um. I you know how in history books that you see the tornado alley and stuff. Um. Whatever it is.
Like the pathway.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. I think it moved a little bit.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean,
Oh,
the path.
like it changed its course a little bit, right? Of which way it went.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
might, I mean, you might be right. I don't think because I was showing a little bit of this book, right? Hold on, let me full screen myself real quick, Nate. Right there. And it shows the pathway. You can see where it says tornado pathway. It does. I mean, it curves a little bit. I don't know if that's exactly accurate, but pretty darn close. I mean, and at the same time, notice where Bryant Denny is. It also there was a tornado that day that passed right by the stadium. So I mean, this was just one of the pathways. I think that was the main one um, that I think Lars Anderson put in there that he wanted to point out a bit.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to say like, well, not because of Tuscaloosa and stuff. I was talking about the Midwest, uh, whatever it is, the path.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I got
It
you.
usually is in the yeah. So, but anyways, what's your what's your take on if uh what did you take if Trevor Lawrence won't get the first overall pick if the Jaguars screw up?
I think it'd be the stupidest decision in all of draft history if the Jaguars don't take Trevor Lawrence. I mean, you pretty much might as well lock up the board for him and say this is who you have to take. I mean, we're talking about Trevor Lawrence here. He's the number one overall quarterback, prospect, player, whatever. Um, even when he came out of high school, he was rated that high. I mean, he's been playing since he was in middle school or whatever the heck. I mean, he's been prepping his whole life for this. He won a championship as a freshman, led the team to the playoffs 3 straight years. All 3 years, he's at least made it to a semifinal. He's only lost as a starter, um, I guess, 2 games, the one against Ohio State last year and the one against LSU, which we know the excuse you could get for LSU a few years ago. So, I mean, I think outside of 2 losses on his resume and a few interceptions here or there, which any quarterback's going to have, I mean, he's got the arm accuracy. He's got, very good pocket awareness. He's well built for the position. He's mobile. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is just Trevor Lawrence. I mean, he's great. He's big, and I think anybody with the number one pick, you don't have a choice who you draft. Okay, obviously, if the Jaguars wanted to screw up big time and skip on them, they could, but they're not going to, right? They're not that dumb. They're smart enough that they stick to it, right? It's just you know, I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. But I think anybody, the most surprising thing that could happen in this draft, we're not talking about a trade. We're not talking about what San Francisco would do. We're not talking. The most surprising pick of the draft would be not what's going to happen, but what would happen. The most shocking thing in the world would be the Jaguars not taking Trevor Lawrence. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. And plus, in past years, I think Jacksonville has been um, not been good at drafts recently, but
Yeah.
they haven't been. They did mistakes too. Um, like I don't know what player, but um, yeah,
Well, I mean, look, we're gonna hear it in pretty much 48 hours, a little less than that. We'll hear Trevor Lawrence's name called. We'll hear Zach Wilson, and then we'll hear who the 49ers take, and then domino effect from there on out, I guess, in the first round of the draft. MSU fans in here, what's going on? We got the bet, Wisconsin sports fan, Webster, Shannon. Thanks everyone for showing up. MSU fan says, Nate, thoughts on the Michigan State game October 30th this year? Your thoughts?
Well, I just hope that Jacksonville won't screw up because I'm a Jack
Yeah,
fan.
but I was asking you about MSU fan. He wants to get your thoughts on Michigan State this year.
Sorry about that. I think if Harbaugh gets, I don't know if he gets it done this year, but if he gets Michigan State this year, that'll be a dub. But if he loses to Mel Tucker again, he's probably gonna get bad. I'm like done with him. I have lost faith in him. So, oh well.
Yeah. Oh, here we
Yeah.
go. This put out today by Cron.com to quote sources. I don't know if that's reliable or not. Early look at the quarterbacks the Texans could take in 2022. Do you think the Texans, because of the whole Watson thing, could they be the team to have the number one pick next year, and maybe they're sitting there taking the first quarterback?
Probably.
I would not doubt on that.
Yeah. But hey, is Deshaun Watson in trouble now? Is he here?
I don't even know. I don't even know what's going on. Honestly.
Okay. This is just ridiculous. They just need to tell us the truth.
Yeah.
They're being like
He's still on the team. You know.
Yeah, I know. Just trying to hide information like it's like Area 51.
Right. Well, here's something from NBC Sports put out by Mike Florio. This was put out just a couple hours ago. A report saying that 8 teams, because they were trying to do like a trade with Miami for Watson or what. I mean, which the whole deal. The Dolphins aren't trading Tua, but obviously, the Texans had news that they wanted to get rid of Watson. They wanted something. But there were 8 teams before the legal issues, the sexual allegations and all that. Before that came up, 8 teams showed interest in Watson. We had the Jets, obviously the Dolphins, the Panthers, the Broncos, the 49ers, Patriots, the Bears, and Washington. Those were the teams. Let me put this in here. Quote sources. What's up? Jeff Webster's in here. The Bet, Wisconsin sports fan. I put the link in. If anyone wants to join in, feel free to. I know Jeff always loves coming in here. But yeah.
What? Holy God. I ain't getting beaten happy. It's like 4-0 right now.
Just gonna kind of hang out.
Honey, here's a sock and your shorts.
So, what was your plans for the night? Like,
just doing the
where
stream, I
where you
guess.
at?
Yeah, just doing the stream.
That's cool.
Yeah, man. We got Mr. Jack Trice in the building. What's up, Jeff?
With the 5th pick of the 2021 NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select Jamar Chase, wide
Oh,
receiver, Louisiana State.
I haven't taken. I think they take Penny Soul, but I would not be surprised either way, man. It'd be cool to see Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow reunited. That'd be pretty interesting.
That might be what they do.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase is a great talent, but I really, I don't know, because I'm old fashioned, okay? I don't like wide receivers, tight ends, and running backs in the top 10.
Right.
The top 10 to me are quarterbacks, offensive linemen who are not centers, so guards or tackles,
Yeah.
a shutdown corner, or a killer edge rusher. Those are your top 10. Linebackers, run stopping linebackers, interior defensive linemen, they can go in the high teens. Running backs, wide receivers, those guys, they should go in the high teens too if they're the best. But that's not how it plays out. That's just how I would do it.
Oh yeah, I got you.
You know, because there's a lot of talk that the Falcons are going to take Kyle Pitts at number 4. I just don't see a tight end being worth the number 4 pick. I mean, Pitts is a great guy.
Well,
He's
that's
going to
why
give you
there's also rumors. That's why there's also rumors they trade back to later in the top 10 or a little further outside of that with a team maybe like the Broncos or whoever, because I think the Broncos are like 8 or 9. So I mean that's why there's rumors of them.
I'm getting blisters on my fingers typing about the Falcons because they have been trying to get out of this number 4 pick for 2 now, and everybody keeps turning them down because they're asking for the bank and the kitchen sink at the same time.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that it isn't going to happen. Somebody might be in love with Giants at number 11, the Broncos at number 9, the Cowboys at number 10. They might be in love with somebody at number 4 and pay Atlanta's price. You don't know.
Yeah.
You never know. One thing we can, it's Tuesday night, we're 48 hours away from the draft. One thing we can say for certain is 48 hours from now, we're going to get surprised. Somebody's going to surprise us.
Yeah. And it's going to be in the top 10 somewhere.
Yeah, at least once, if not twice, we're going to get surprised in the top 10 because it happens that way every year.
Yeah.
What's up, Ballard?
What's up, MSU fan? How you doing?
Doing good.
Awesome, man.
Got to see the spring game on Saturday.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
What'd you think of it?
It was pretty much as planned. I think Peyton Thorne will start over Anthony Versom. Versom had one too many passes that were either too low or too far out. of his receivers.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta charge my phone. But
Here we
How
go.
did the Well, Nate, how did the Exogen spring game go? Nate, how did the Exogen spring game go? Am I echoing, Ballard?
No, you're not at all.
I don't know if
Okay.
Nate. Did you hear him, Nate?
Nate sounds like his audio's messed up, so I don't know. Wisconsin sports fan is asking Jeff, should the Falcons trade down to 8 for Trey Lance?
Who's sitting at 8? Detroit's at 7. 8 is Carolina. Carolina's not coming off of 8.
Right. If anything, you know, you could either take him right then and there or trade back with the Broncos. Or would the Broncos, if they traded up, would they go ahead and take Lance? I don't know. I'm projecting in my mock draft though that the Broncos end up with Lance.
The Broncos with Lance at number 9.
Yeah, that's what I got. Here we go. We got something here. Denny chimes rung 53 times today, each chime for each member or person killed in that tornado.
I know Michigan got embarrassed last year by Michigan State.
Yeah, they did. Big
Double
time.
Exogen. Yeah, that's typical of the. That's what Exogen gets for hiring Jim Harbaugh.
Best 5 years of my life, I heard that sound.
Yeah. Is that the last time you heard it?
Oh, no. I was on campus in 2015.
Oh, cool.
But that's the last time I've been. That's the last time I've been to campus. 2015.
Yeah. And they kept ringing it 53 times. This goes on for 5 more minutes, but I mean, it's still, God.
Right.
Doesn't Ohio State do that to Exogen every year?
I don't know.
When I was a student there, the story about Jenny Chimes was that a brick would fall out if a girl graduated as a virgin, and that's why there aren't any bricks missing.
That's pretty good. Kind of.
Whiskey says Carolina goes up to number 4
It gets bit. That would be bold. I haven't heard that one yet.
Carolina doesn't. The problem with that is Carolina doesn't have the picks or the personnel to make that trade.
Yeah, they don't have enough to give the Falcons.
Yeah,
the Broncos do.
Yeah,
You know.
Carolina's stuck at 8 unless somebody lower than them comes to them. They're not going up past 8.
Yeah.
Well, Jeff, what are your thoughts on Jim Harbaugh this year?
I'm going to stick by what I said earlier, like 2 weeks ago to Ballard. If Carolina is at number 8, and for some reason Penei Sewell is still on the board, they're going to slobber all over themselves and draft Sewell.
Yeah, they are.
Check Sam Darnold's
They would
backside.
hit the gold mine with that, man.
Sewell gave up 1 sack and almost 1,400 plays from scrimmage.
Yeah.
He's a 10-year starter at left tackle. That's who you draft at number 8. You take a 10-year starter at left tackle, not a wide receiver that might give you 3 great years and then could possibly get hurt. You take offensive linemen up there. And you've got McCaffrey. You've got weapons. I can't think of who Carolina's tight end is, but he's pretty good.
Greg Olson?
Carolina. What's that?
I think his name's like Greg Olson, unless I missed something and it's someone else. I don't know.
Carolina needs a left tackle, and if he's still on the board, he might not be. But if Penei Sewell's on the board at number 8, your crowd's going to boo because everybody boos when you draft offensive linemen because they're not glamorous.
Yeah.
But Sam Darnold will be doing fucking cartwheels in his backyard.
Yeah. Well, I have. I think Penei Sewell's going to go 5. Here's what I got for the top 10 at least. At least for the big time picks. Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence. Need I say more? No. Zach Wilson's going to the Jets. I hate to do it to Mac Jones, but just because of what I'm hearing, the rumors, it sounds like the 49ers are sold on Fields. They're going to take him at 3. The Falcons, they could trade back, but again, I'm not one to really mess with trades all that much, but they're going to end up with Pitts somehow. The Bengals are sitting there at 5. The first offensive tackle goes off the board to them, Penei Sewell. The Dolphins, could they get a receiver for Tua? Jamar Chase, maybe. I've heard rumors that the Lions are also interested in a guy, for a receiving weapon for Goff or whoever the quarterback's going to be. I think they traded Stafford to the Rams and got Goff, but I could see them ending up with Waddle. I think the Panthers take Micah Parsons. Trey Lance goes to the Broncos. And the Cowboys get a corner, which they desperately need, out of Caleb Farley from Virginia Tech.
Did you fall out of bed this morning, Ballard? Caleb Farley's got back issues. There's no way in hell he's being taken over Horn or Patrick Surtain. No way in hell is he going ahead of Surtain or Horn.
I didn't know he had back issues.
Oh yeah, he had back surgery. That's why his draft stock fell.
Oh shoot!
They're not sold on him yet. And if Jamar Chase and Jalen Waddle are both alive at number 6, and they're both gonna be, the Dolphins will take Waddle because of his prior playing time with Tua.
Okay, I can see that.
That's my opinion. Now that doesn't mean that Chase isn't great.
Right.
They'll just say the same thing that the Bengals would say if the Bengals took Chase. If the Bengals could take Chase or Waddle, they're going to take Chase because of his prior playing time with Burrow.
Yeah.
It just makes sense. You're gonna match him back up again, and so you might see that happen. You might see a reuniting of quarterback and wide receiver at 5, and then a reuniting of quarterback and wide receiver at 6. I mean, who knows? I mean, like I say, there's always going to be surprises. If that happens, if Chase and Waddle go 5 or 6, there's going to be happy people, because that's going to leave Sewell on the board. That's going to leave Rashawn Slater on the board. That's going to leave the big kid. From USC. USC's got a good tackle.
Elijah Vera Tucker. Right?
Yeah.
Vera Tucker.
He can play left or right. All Pac-12. He's a first round left tackle.
I can see that.
There's going to be some linemen on the board. What I wonder is, how Jerry Jones is. Jerry Jones likes people talking about Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
He loves to hear people say his name and read his name in print.
He's full of himself, basically.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man.
He might, even though the Cowboys could really use a cornerback at 10, he might make some kind of a move to go get Kyle Pitts.
That's what I'm hearing. Here's the thing. You hear all this talk about the Falcons are planning on Kyle Pitts. Then I even heard, like you just said a few weeks ago, the Cowboys and Jerry Jones are sold on Kyle Pitts a little. Who wouldn't be sold on that kind tight end. I mean, I've even heard rumors about the Patriots, but I think the Patriots need to go ahead and get a quarterback because they only got Cam for another year or two, and
Yeah.
we all know that. Yeah,
I think the Patriots are happy, especially if they think they don't have to move. If they think they can get away with staying at 15
yeah,
and have either Fields or Lance or Mac Jones, one of those three, land in their lap at 15, and they don't have to trade to get them, I think they'd take any of those.
yeah. I got you.
Just based on how Belichick runs his schemes, I think Mac Jones is the better fit in New England. Just
Yeah.
because he fits what they do.
Oh no, I got you. I fully understand that. But I mean, let's say it is the Patriots that want to take Mac Jones. Do they absolutely like? They could pretty much get him at 15 then, right? Because nobody else outside of, after the 49ers, or I guess the Broncos, but the Broncos just seem sold on a guy like Trey Lance, it seems like. Why they're not, even considering Mac Jones a whole lot, I don't know. But
Dallas isn't taking the quarterback at 10. The Eagles quarterback. The Giants aren't taking a quarterback at 11. The Eagles are not taking a quarterback at 12. The Chargers are not taking a quarterback at 13.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of who 14 is. Who's 14, Ballard?
14, the Vikings. They need offensive line help.
Taking a quarterback. So 14 might be where Micah Parsons goes.
Steelers taking Kyle Trask round 2. That's
The Steelers would like to have Najee Harris, but they were talking this morning that Arizona has all of a sudden started talking Najee Harris.
Yeah.
Now that could just be a smoke screen.
Yeah, I mean, see, that's the thing too. I mean, people think this whole Justin Fields and the 49ers thing's a smoke screen. That one I don't believe would actually be a smoke. I mean, why wouldn't the 49ers want to take a guy like Fields? But yeah, that whole Cardinals or whatever deal you were just talking about, I mean, and we've already talked multiple times about running backs hardly ever go in the first round period, other than, I mean, the whole Saquon thing is just that's just Saquon Barkley and what the Giants just needed desperately or whatever.
I don't know. It's me being old fashioned. I know it. I don't value running backs that high because the league is full of capable running backs who were drafted in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
And it's not really, despite what Derrick Henry's doing, it's not really a running back league anymore. This is in the 70s and the 80s. It's the rules have changed. The game has changed. It used to be that the pros dictated how the college recruited their players. Now the college game is dictating how the pros play, with all these running around quarterbacks and all this flying down the field track star wide receivers, and the way the rules have changed. And you can't hit a guy. You can't hold a guy at the line of scrimmage. You can't.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not that running backs aren't needed, but it's definitely more a take a downfield shot. And I mean, you just protecting the quarterback and everything like that,
Yeah, look, if you're telling me I can have a Rashawn Slater, a Penei Sewell, I can have a 10-year starter on the offensive line, or I can have a running back who's going to give me career average of 4 years of running back. I want that 10-year starter on the O-line.
Yeah.
He can block for the running back I take 2 rounds later, and he can protect my quarterback. It's what it's where your value is. Unless we're talking about Barry Sanders or Walter Payton or somebody like that, and you just don't see those guys anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, the football that I was watching when I was 20 is not the football you're watching when you're
Today.
20.
Yeah, I got you.
First of all, when I turned 20, the Bears were the champions of the NFL. They won the Super Bowl after the 1985 season. And the Super Bowl was always, whatever Super Bowl it is, that's the age I'm going to be in June.
Yep.
Super Bowl 1 was played in January of 1966. In June of 1966, I was born. So whatever it is.
Yeah.
Super Bowl 20 was played in January of 86 for the 85 season. And
I got you.
That's why I hate when people say, "Oh, it was the 21 national championship game. Alabama beat Ohio State." No, they didn't. They beat Ohio State in the 2020 national championship game.
For that season.
That's right. That's the season it was attached to. The game was played in 21, but it was the 20 championship.
Yeah.
I mean, I get, and even for Miami, it was like they had all the 2021 college football playoff signs. I could get that, but we're not the defending champions. I mean, going into the 2021 season, yes, but we didn't win a championship in 21. We won it in 20 because we, as football fans, we focus on the season. When did it start? What did it play into a majority of the time? I don't care what year it is. You know what I mean? I mean, it was 2020, which we don't speak of, but still.
When you're playing college football trivia on Ballard Sports Media's YouTube channel, he asked you, who were the 2 defensive linemen who stopped Matt Gooman on 4th and goal in the 1979 Sugar Bowl? He's talking about the 1979 Sugar Bowl, despite the fact that the game was played in 1980.
Yeah.
It was for the 1979 season.
Right.
And no sports fans, that was not in the last minute of the game. There was still 4 or 5 minutes to play.
Yep.
And both Barry Krause and Marty Lyons went on to lengthy and successful NFL careers.
Yeah.
And Bear Bryant got carried off the field, and he wasn't wearing his hat because you don't wear a hat when you're inside. And the Superdome is inside. Yeah.
Jeez.
Never been to the Super Bowl.
You never have?
I would love to go.
Oh, yeah.
I've been to the city of New Orleans four times, three times. Well, let's see, three or 4 times. I've been there 3 times and went through it one other time. Let's put it that way.
Is it beautiful?
What's that?
Is it beautiful there? Or
it is. The last time I was there was in June, and it was a stinky, hot, flaming mess, and I'll never go back there in the summer again. It's a fucking disaster.
Yeah.
It's hot. You can't breathe. Yeah, it's terrible. But I've been there for
Well,
Mardi Gras. I've been there for Mardi Gras, and I've been there twice for Bama LSU games. And we went there after the game in Baton Rouge. We went down and partied on Bourbon Street. And it is, I mean, New Orleans is a beautiful city, and they have a great zoo and aquarium.
Oh, in New Orleans?
Yeah, and they built a World War II museum there too, which I've not seen, but I've heard good things about. But they
Yeah.
have a really good aquarium there.
Is it true what my grandparents told me one time? Because I mean, I said to them, I'm like, hey, you know, there's a list of cities I want to visit, and New Orleans is on there. Is it true? Like, you can't eat, like, it's basically offensive if you turn down the food that they try to give you,
oh,
like, because I know they can be pretty strict about the food there too, right?
I don't know about that.
hey, Jeff, have you been to Phoenix, Arizona, or Tucson, or
I didn't say it again, Nate. I didn't hear you.
He was asking if you like been to Phoenix, Arizona, or I don't know, something like Tucson, or I don't know.
Well, just outside of Phoenix, Glendale. I went down there for the Insight.com Bowl when Iowa State played Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh
oh,
had Larry Fitzgerald as a wide receiver.
mm,
Yeah, that was the
yeah,
Insight.com Bowl. And that was just, we flew down there. We were there for like 3 days. Came back. I didn't really have a chance to do any sightseeing or anything. It was just, I was working. Yeah.
yeah,
And I went down there on the media. I went down there on the media flight, so it's like we were real restricted on where we were taking the team bus to places. We were taking we were reliant on that transportation. None of us went and rented our own car or anything like that. So it was pretty much very regimented.
yeah. I hear it's pretty hot in Arizona, some parts.
Yeah, well, that was in. I think that game was December 29th. I think it was a December game. I don't remember. It was a long time ago.
Okay.
I mean, it was 15, 18 years ago. I don't remember. It's the only time I've been to Arizona. I've never been to the West Coast. Never been to California. Never been to. So that's probably, if you looked at a map, it's probably the farthest west I've ever been. If you had to draw a line.
Huh.
But those 2 days in New Orleans in June were just about the most miserable 2 days I've ever had in my life. I mean, it was so fucking hot, and pardon my French, it was so hot and so humid. Just
Yeah.
unbelievably uncomfortable. And yeah, food was good. I mean, and people were okay. I mean,
Yeah.
people in, and like any big city, New Orleans expensive, you know.
Right.
So I would say to somebody, if you want, if you would I recommend that you never visit New Orleans? No, I would say never go there, but I would urge you not to go there during the summer months because of the climate.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But architecturally, it's a beautiful city. The French Quarter's beautiful. I found the people pleasant enough, and the food's good, and
That's awesome.
what I want to do is I want to go back to DC again.
Yeah.
I've only been to DC once, and we went to the Smith. We did all the sightseeing stuff that you do when you go to DC. The tourist stuff and all that. And we went to the Smithsonian, and which is not one museum; it's a series of museums. And I would actually like to go back and this time skip the Capitol, skip the Supreme Court, skip all the monuments, and just focus on the Smithsonian and just drive myself crazy and just spend a couple of days in there just going nuts.
Oh yeah.
I'd like to do that. I'm a museum kind of guy.
Yeah.
I've been to museums in Chicago so many times I can't even forget. I can't even count it. And
Yeah.
and most of the times when I go there, I'm only there for a couple of hours because I see the permanent exhibits, the stuff that's there every day of the year, all the time. I'm just going because there'll be a new traveling exhibit. Like one time I went there when they had, like this just as an example. I went to Science and Industry because they had a traveling exhibit on Sesame Street and on Jim Henson and the Muppets. And so
Oh, yeah.
a whole exhibit hall was full of artifacts and the history of Sesame Street and the Muppets. And you got to see they had the original in there, and so the traveling exhibits, which are you can go on their websites and see them. That's what you want to see because once you've gone through there one time, you've seen the permanent stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Jeff, how many times you been in Omaha? Once or twice?
Omaha? Oh, I don't. Dozens.
No. What places? What museums you like in Omaha? Because they have a bunch.
Oh, I love the Dorley Zoo. I tell anybody that'll
Yeah.
listen, the Henry Dorley Zoo in Omaha is one of the best kept secrets in the entire United States.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. And one of the things that I like about the Dorley Zoo is that they have they have two animals that I really, really like, and they have great exhibits on both of them. For one, they have one of the largest cheetah exhibits in the entire continental United States. And I think I'm going to get this wrong. I know I'm going to get this wrong. Cincinnati and someplace else. There's only 3 of them.
San Diego, you think?
Maybe in the entire, not just the United States, but this includes North America and South America, the entire Western Hemisphere. There are only 3 zoos that have African wild dogs displayed.
Oh,
And the Dorley Zoo in Omaha has what the last time I was there, they said it's the world's largest, or the largest exhibit in the Americas of African wild dogs, which are one of my favorite animals.
yeah. Are you talking about the big dome out there?
What's that?
Are you talking about the big dome, the desert dome?
No. It's Are you real familiar? How familiar are you with the zoo, Nate?
Really familiar with the big glass dome. I know the
Right.
aquarium and basically everything. Actually.
Well, as you're going towards the aquarium, you go down the hill to the left.
Oh yeah.
And the African wild dogs are behind the little part of the zoo that is all designed to look like the 1800s. It's kind of designed to look like what Nebraska would have looked like in the Wild West days. That part of the zoo, that's where the wild dogs are. They're kind of. The best way to go there is if you're riding a little train that goes around the zoo, because it's out of the way. There's like really nothing else that's near it. You have to make a deliberate. We're going to go see them. It's not like, oh, what's next door? You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, there's the lions and next to the lions are the jaguars. It's like you have to go specifically to go see them.
Yeah.
Because they have to have so much space.
Yeah, and plus I know they have the new Sky Safari. You can just go. It's kind of like a ski lift, but it's called Sky Safari.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. We went and you can look down and you're up in the air and you're looking down at rhinos and looking down at giraffes, and it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just,
yeah.
yeah,
I like.
I
I
used to go to Omaha. I used to go to Omaha about every other year to go to old. It's of course it's not there anymore. They built the new one, but old Rosenblatt Stadium for the College World Series.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd go maybe every 2 or 3 years. I'd go over for that. I'm thinking the last one I went to was
TV American title.
17,
Oh yeah,
16 or 17. It was the year before Vandy won it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I
yeah.
can't remember.
Well, Vandy won last year against Michigan. Michigan
Right.
had a pretty time, but and plus I did like a March Madness related bracket to the Road to College World Series bracket. I put uh Michigan in the Final Four in the College World Series, and I was right. And put in the championship, but I don't know if they won. But yeah, that was a miracle. And plus, I was at the games too. And well, Michigan lost, but Michigan fans were not happy.
Yeah.
I went over. Let's see. I went to. I'm trying to think how long it's been since I've been to Omaha. I went over 2019 because we had a dinner and a celebration. A friend of mine here in Des Moines, his daughter graduated from Creighton, so I didn't have tickets to her graduation because they could only give like 2 or 4 tickets, and of course it went to her family. But they had a big dinner over there, and they invited a lot of people to come to Omaha and go to this dinner. They had it at some dinner club, some place where they rent out. They rent it out and they cater it, and families can gather there,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
and that's where that was, because that was the first time. Despite being in Omaha many times, that was the first time I was actually ever on Creighton's campus. I knew where it was. I had just never been on it.
It's big.
It is. It's surprisingly big. You don't think so until you get there.
Yeah. And plus, a lot of people from the south or the east doesn't know where Creighton is.
No, no.
Yeah. Um. And plus, I think volleyball, the national ball, or where is the college volleyball tournament is in Omaha, I think.
Just happened.
And yeah, wait, it hasn't started
Kentucky,
yet.
Kentucky beat Texas, and I wanted to go, and I didn't. And I was really, I should have gone.
Yeah. And yeah, if you have you ever went to an Omaha Mavericks game, hockey or no?
No, but I go to 6 or 7 Iowa Wild games
Oh,
with the AHL team for Minnesota.
so what arena do they have, or what was it the?
They play at Wells Fargo. They skate at Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo
Oh,
is right downtown Des Moines. It holds about 15,000. We have a NBA G League team. There's the Iowa Wild plays there, and COVID kind of screwed things up. But before COVID, there was lots of concerts there, and there's been NCAA basketball there. The tournament has been there. Men's and women's both. It's a big time of it's a major facility. I mean, it's a
yeah. I mean, well, there's the Quest Center, but if you, have you driven by the Quest Center before, or the CHI Health?
The
where's that
what?
at?
That's in downtown Omaha, which is the big. It's a big arena with just I don't know. I know what it looks like, but I don't know how to describe it. But it's like a weird arena with like metal people. I don't know. It's pretty unique. I don't know, but it's yeah.
Well, I'm sure I have. I'm
Yeah.
sure I have. I've been to Omaha. Omaha's not that far away from me.
Yeah,
If
that's
I got in my car, if I got in my car, I can be in Omaha in just a little over 2 hours.
yeah, it's not that
About
far.
about 2.5 hours. Depends upon the traffic.
Yeah. And have you passed by? Sorry.
I can get to Omaha in a little more than 2 hours. It'd take me 3.5 to get to the Twin Cities, 3.5 to get to Kansas City.
Oh.
And Chicago and St. Louis are both about 6.
Yeah. Me and my family actually drove to go watch the Nebraska and Michigan game in year of 2016, I think. It was at the big house. Man, that was a blowout. But yeah, that was a fun time. Yeah.
I've
Sorry,
been
go
to the
ahead.
state. I've been to Detroit. Went across the river to the hell's the name of that town? Windsor, Ontario. So we went across to Canada. But despite the fact that I've been in Michigan, I've never been to Ann Arbor or East Lansing. I've never seen Michigan or Michigan State's campus.
Yeah, if you ever have a chance to go see Michigan or Michigan State, I haven't seen Michigan State yet, but Michigan's campus is really big actually. And plus their stadium is like a big bowl. That's why it's called Big House for a reason.
The Big Ten campuses for me that I've been on well, I've driven by, so it doesn't really count as being there. I mean, you can just say, well, I drove by and I saw it. I've driven by and seen Minnesota and Nebraska, but I've actually been on the campus and done things on the campus in Iowa, Wisconsin, Northwestern, Illinois, Purdue, Indiana, Ohio State, and a long time ago when they were not yet in the Big Ten, I was on Maryland's campus, but they weren't in the Big Ten at the time, but they are now. So I never been to either of the Michigan schools, and never been to Penn State. But Iowa, and Northwestern and Illinois, I've been on those three campuses many times. I would have loved to have gone to the University of Illinois, but I didn't have the grades or the money.
Yeah.
Illinois is a very academically tough school to qualify for. It might be the hardest in the Big Ten. Michigan and Northwestern are both very hard to get into, but so is Illinois. And then some of the Big Ten schools, like Iowa, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Ohio State, they'll just about take anybody.
Yeah.
But you better know what you're doing if you're going to go to Illinois, Michigan, or Northwestern.
Right.
And I can't imagine. It's got to be
Mm-hmm.
to be 35 or 40% a year at Illinois. It has to be somewhere in that ballpark. I would.
Let's see. Let me check up on the chat. I'm sorry I'm quiet. I'm letting y'all speak. So I mean, Corbin Burns.
Talking about Omaha, and so
Yeah. Corbin Burns has the opportunity to break Jansen's most strikeouts without a walk record against the Dodgers on Saturday. Oh, Pizza Woman's in here. What's up, Pizza Woman? I'll tell you what, Fernando Tatis is holy crap. I don't know, Jeff, how much MLB you watched today, but the main superstar. I mean, it's like when we were hyping up Trevor Lawrence when he was a freshman, and how he is hyped up now. I mean, he's like the Trevor Lawrence of baseball right now. It's just, everyone says he can do it all and everything, which they're right. I mean, he just great accuracy, a good batting average. I think he's a shortstop, but he's really, really great.
all right. Well, thanks for streaming, Ballard. I'm going to dip out of here. I got stuff I got to get done here.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think I'm going to try to end it here too.
All right, everybody, stay safe and roll Tide.
All right, see you, Jeff. Roll Tide, bud. Sorry about that. Thank you, Jeff Webster, for coming on. Thanks, Nate, for coming on. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. I got some stuff to take care of, but yeah, definitely just wanted to do this. The 10-year anniversary again on the anniversary of that Tuscaloosa tornado. Just kind of ripped through, the whole city and tore it apart and everything. So I figured I'd come on here and just talk about it. Being a Bama fan, I mean, Tuscaloosa is pretty much home of the Crimson Tide, of the state, of all of it. So I mean, when it ripped through, it was just, I mean, it sucked, man. It was terrible. Um, so I mean, I figured I'd come on here talk a little bit about it. And of course we talk some draft stuff, and all that. So, but appreciate everyone for showing up today. Hey, hit that thumbs up on your way out. I really would appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, man. We're at 364. And again, I mention all the time, I don't do this for popularity or anything, but more so for my career. Which everything, I've mentioned I've trying to get back into school and all that. That's going pretty well. Still working on the process of just staying in contact with guidance counselors or whatever. Trying to get back into school in the fall. Get back on track, man. Just keep grinding it out. So, but yeah, again, along with trying to do this, sportscasting and everything for a career. And again, I will say this. I apologize. That's the plan, Wisconsin fan. I would like to stream this Thursday night for the draft for round one. I will apologize real quick. I mean, I know that sometimes I come on here and I can be a little opinionated on some stuff here or there. I have not done the best job at trying to be the best sportscaster, because I'm just gonna be real with you guys. I mean, I try to be fair and unbiased, right? I try to share my opinions in a way. I try to be careful, but sometimes something's on my mind, man. I just gotta say what's on my mind, and if it affect, I'm not trying to say anything. The goal is never to offend anybody with my take on sports or make people upset because I feel a certain way on this or that because this player's better or that player's better or whatever, or we make jokes sometimes here or there. It's never to put anybody down, but it's also, it's just I'm just here to present the sports news for you guys. But hit that thumbs up on your way out. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, man. Let's keep building it. I'm trying to do this for a career, and I'm getting back on track of getting back into school and everything, and just getting on track, man. Getting back on track with it. I'm gonna trust God through all of it. I know I got friends and family here to support me, and I got all you guys here as well. So I love each and every one of you. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Um, and again, the whole thing with this stream, it's April 27th. It's been 10 years since that tornado. I know it's still, I'm sure it still haunts people's, who were impacted by it. Prayers out to them. Much love and respect. So, and much love and respect to everybody in here. Thanks, Wisconsin fan, Pizza Woman. Nate came on, Jeff came on, Shannon Mitchell, Lincoln Stevens in here. Of course, Nate Kingston, another shout out there. Appreciate everyone for showing up. Shannon Mitchell as well there too. Love you guys. Hope everyone has an awesome week ahead. Looking forward to the draft Thursday night. I will be live for it. 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We'll be right here. Love you guys. Have an awesome week. Keep your head up. Jesus loves you. Remember that. God bless. Love you guys. Roll Tide. We'll see you.